Hey guys, it's Nicole. Today I decided I wanted to go ahead and work on another month in review style layout. I've done one previously and I'll post a link below. I was sort of going back and watching older Nicole McGork videos, and I ran across a couple of the ones that she had done a month in review type, and I love it. The forum that I participate in, they do a big month in review challenge all year long. And the style that most of them use, it won't work for me only because I tend to have a lot of photos that I'm not going to scrap separately. So Nicole McGork's 2010 month in review layouts sort of just kind of sparked that creative drive that I needed. And I kind of like all the little photos on a collage and stuff, so that is working out for me. So today I'm going to go ahead and do photos from January 2014, and I kind of decided that I'm going to use the same die cut titles for my silhouette for 2014, and I'm going to continue to use the giant stash that I have from my mind's eye. So I just went through and I was really liking this sort of color scheme, so I just kind of pulled anything, and it seemed to be a lot of this stuff from the Sweetest Thing line, which I think there's like 4 different color palettes, but I'm really liking this one for possibly using it as a background. And then a lot of these I have duplicates of, so I sort of won't feel like I have to pick or choose a side. So it's a lot of pinks, a lot of florals, some woods, and stuff like that. So I will include in the video sort of just going through and trying to figure out what I want to do, especially as far as the layout. I mean, I'm only going to have so much room to work with by the time I trim this down. And I'm liking that these are pretty quick to do just because you don't have a whole lot of space to work with, and you can kind of get things done pretty quick. When I had made my notes as far as what I was going to scrapbook for January 2014, I had made a note to myself that I liked Nicole McGork's February layout for her 2010 month in reviews. I just went and looked back at it again, and for whatever reason I'm not liking it for this one, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. I mean, this is a pretty big collage, so I'm only going to have, you know, a little bit up here for my title, and I've already typed up my journaling, so I just need to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I may even pull out some vellum. This isn't going to be big enough, and maybe try to do my journaling on the vellum so that you can still see some of this pretty ledger paper. But like I said, I don't really have a game plan. I just pulled paper, I pulled my collage, and then I went through and I pulled a bunch of my mind's eye die cuts. I thought I could do the year and some stickers, and then I just went through and pulled stuff that I knew was from the Sweetest Thing, and just kind of anything that I had. None of this has been opened, so I'd like to maybe use, you know, a couple of these. But like I said, I'm not sure how much room I'm going to have, and I don't have like a sketch that I'm following, don't really know what I'm doing, so this may take a while. So I may just kind of wing it, see how it goes, and then if it gets to be too long, I might just kind of cut out some of the decision making from the video. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and get to work. Alright, so to get started, I went ahead and just trimmed off that little extra piece from my photo collage. And I had already decided that I was going to use that ledger paper for my background. I just kind of liked the top where it says monthly account of household expenses, and then it just kind of has like a pretty pink and blue ledger pattern. And the back was like a big, bold yellow floral, so I already knew that I wasn't going to be sad about, you know, using an entire sheet for the background, especially because you're only really going to see the very top of the ledger paper. And then I just sort of started going through the different pattern papers, and I knew I wanted one that was sort of a multi-colored pattern, so I chose this floral. And then I kind of kept going back and forth between going through the papers and looking through my embellishments, just sort of trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do or anything that I was for sure wanting to use. Actually all of those sticker packages, I didn't even end up opening them, and I think it was just because this photo collage was pretty big and those stickers were pretty big, so I didn't have really any space that I felt like I needed to fill, and I didn't sort of want it to just kind of look like I had, you know, this giant sticker sitting there. I took this really pale gray wood grain pattern paper. I had used it in a previous layout, I believe, so I had it out on my desk and available, so I just went ahead and printed out my photo descriptions on that, and then I just took a corner punch and used the smallest size to round the bottom corners, and then I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I want all of this to land as far as down on the pattern papers. So I had just kind of made a little pencil mark to size that floral paper, and then I'm going to continue to kind of lay things out, and I'm sort of trying to figure out how I can incorporate maybe a little bit more of those patterns. I cut another strip of that wood grain paper, and then I went over to my border punches and picked a postage stamp looking border that I'm going to go ahead and use in a little bit. And then I went and got this colossal circle cutter template thing. I decided I wanted to kind of add a little bit more pattern at the top, and looking at the layout now, I kind of wish I had gone with something maybe more bold or more noticeable, just because it was this pale cream color with a pink polka dot on top of a pale cream colored ledger, so it's not as noticeable, it's not contrasting, and it's not, at the time, I don't know, at the time I guess I just really wanted to use that pattern, and two of the other colors I had already decided that I was going to use to cut my title with, so I just was kind of going with it. So here's that border punch, and it's gonna mostly be covered up, but I do like using border punches. Almost every single class I do at my local store has at least one border punch. More often than not, it's got 2 or 3. I just think that they kind of add a little interest to what would normally be just like a boring strip of paper. So before I lay anything else out, I'm going to go ahead and put down my larger pieces that I know for sure I want to go ahead and include. And then after I adhere the punched border strip, I was kind of bothered by that little spot over on the right, sort of where all the pattern papers meet. So I decided I wanted to add just kind of a little splash of color up there. So I went with this dark pink, I think it was like a damask or a floral pattern. You can't actually tell what it is when you cut the strip that small, but I just kind of wanted to bring something a little bit darker and make it more of like a definite border between that top area and where the multicolored floral paper comes in. And then these are the two that I had already set aside that I knew I wanted to back my die cut title with. And then this is some brown wood grain textured paper. I believe it's from American Crafts. I'm not sure. I know I for sure ordered it from Scrapbook Generation a couple months ago. And I had said at the beginning of the video that I really like the sort of sketchy outlined title, and I have in the Silhouette store there was all 12 months, and then there was probably maybe 8 to 10 different phrases, like moments together, stuff like that, and I had downloaded all of them, and I was really bummed that when I did this one, for whatever reason, it just did not it did not cut well. And today I actually worked on February 2014's month in review, and I ended up rotating the title so that it was going up and down on my paper, and it cut so much better. So I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't sort of try that while I was working on this, but most of the time when I sit down to scrapbook, I'm kind of racing the clock of other things that I need to get done, or I've only got an hour to work, so I really want to try to finish something in one sitting as opposed to having to keep coming back. I added the year with some little letter stickers from my mind's eye, and they were from Lime Twist, so those are even older than the papers that I'm using. And then I'm out of frame, but I think I'm just digging through buttons and enamel dots, just something that was easy that I could add a little bit of color to the layout. And I took some twine and I'm just threading it through a little yellow chipboard button that was from more current My Mind's Eye collection. I want to say it was cut and paste, but I'm not sure. But I was just kind of looking at color. Like, I just kind of wanted a little bit of yellow down there. And I've said before, I don't really follow rules as far as how many embellishments to put in a cluster or visual triangles or anything like that. I kind of noticed when I got done that I had just put a little bit in all four corners, and I'm okay with that. I kind of wish that I had taken the time to maybe go look through some label stickers or some phrase stickers and stuff like that, but at the time, I think I had maybe an hour to kind of get everything done, so I just was trying to maybe use my time as wisely as I could just to kind of get it done. So here I'm just kind of finding enamel dots that matched the colors in the paper, and that was pretty much it. So I have a couple photos of some of the different areas and then another shot of the completed layout. And I'm really excited because I've already done February, so I just need to do that video, and I'm hoping to kind of keep plugging along through these. So I appreciate you stopping by and watching this video, and I will catch you next time.